What's up YouTube, it's the Man of Blue here, and I've got my Blu-ray collection overview today. A very requested video, probably the most requested video I've had, and I thought it's a really good way to celebrate my I'm getting 300 subs soon. I'm at 296 I believe now, so I'm soon to be 300 subs. So just a way of saying that, and also because it is a very requested video, I thought I may as well do it. I've been dragging it on for quite a long time now, so I'm going to do it now. I did promise I'm going to do it sometime in August, so I am going to do it right now. And what I'm going to be doing is, instead of doing it in the traditional way, I'm just showing each title. I'm going to be what's the word? I'm going to talk about each title, just very briefly, not very long, otherwise we'll be here all night, or all day, wherever you are. So yeah, I'm just going to do it quick. So this video will be about 30-40 minutes long. I don't edit my videos, so I'm gonna do it as fast as I can, obviously, without rushing it too much. But by the way, my Blu-ray, they're not in alphabetical order like they should be. So the first one, it's not alphabetical order, but I'm going to start with my first steelbook I have, and that is a really brilliant film. A film that's compared to Goodfellas a lot. I may as well show you Casino. It's very compared to Goodfellas a lot, because of the same director, same cast almost. And I think that's a shame, because I don't compare this film to Goodfellas. I like this just as much as I like Goodfellas, actually. I think this is a really fantastic film. Great story of life in Las Vegas, the mobs and everything. And I think that the performances are fantastic. Really brilliant. Really great family problems as well. Really great film. I really do recommend Casino. It's actually one of my favourite mob movies. So yeah, that's Casino. Next up is Skyfall, the latest Bond film by Sam Mendes and Daniel Craig. Fantastic Bond film, one of my favourite Bond films actually. I must do a top Bond film video on my channel, but this would definitely be on my top 5. Absolutely fantastic film, great action, though I love the way it's shot. Sam Mendes brought a really good, fresh, new beginning to Bond for the new generation. Fantastic film. Great storyline, and great villain played by here Javier Bardem. Really good film. I definitely recommend this one. Next up is Predator 2, the sequel to the classic 80s film with Arnie. This is the sequel, not as good, but still I think a quite underrated film. I do actually prefer it to Predators, the later film, but I really do enjoy this film with Danny Glover, Gary Busey, some other cast members, Bill Paxton. It's a good film. It's a good ride. Nothing too spectacular, but I saw the steelbook and I did buy it because I didn't own it before. I really do recommend Predator 2. It is a good ride. Next up is a Humphrey Bogart classic, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. It's going to get a lot of glare because it's quite a shiny steelbook, this one. But I really do like this film. I'm not a massive fan of Humphrey Bogart. I do like his films, but he's not one. I wouldn't say he's like one of my favourite actors. But very good film. I really do like this film. It's got a great story, really well acted. Looks fantastic on Blu-ray. I really do recommend this one. Next up is Taken 2. Now, when I first saw this film, I kind of liked it. I thought it was a good film, not a great film, a good film. But now I don't really like it anymore. I've kind of I looked at it and I kind of thought, no, this isn't good. But I'm going to keep the steelbook because it is a nice steelbook and I didn't pay much for it. But on the whole, it's not great. Doesn't even compare to the first Taken, which I don't actually own on Blu-ray, which is a bit disappointing really. I did actually want that one to be on Blu-ray, but I don't have that one. I only have the not so good sequel, but it's okay. Next up is one of my favourite films actually, The Dark Knight Rises. It came out last year. I have 2 versions of this film on steelbook actually. I don't normally do that, but seeing as this is one of my favourite films of all time, I love it. I love it. It was my favourite film of last year. I think this is the best out of the Dark Knight films. I keep switching between the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, but I think this one has just taken the edge off. I love this film. It's such a good film. Really, really recommend this one. The picture quality on this one is pristine. I really do recommend this one quite a bit. Next up is Argo. Came out last year, won Best Picture. Really, really, really good film. Really, really intelligent film. Fantastically directed by Ben Affleck. He has really come out of his shell now. He did great with Argo and Gone Baby Gone, but this is my favourite one that he's done. It's fantastic. I just can't wait to see what he's got next. I really do recommend this one. Next up, I can get it down, is the Dark Knight one. This is my favourite steelbook I have in my collection, and that's probably why I'm displaying it. Wow, what a film. What a film. As I said, kind of tied with the Dark Knight Rises, but I think I just prefer the Dark Knight Rises just a tad. But this is a fantastic film. Also one of my favourites. Obviously the key aspect of the film, Heath Ledger's Joker, obviously makes the film. But really, really recommend this film. Absolutely phenomenal. I can't stop watching it. It's great. I watch it at least once a year, at least. But yeah, Dark Knight. Really recommend that one. Next up, another film that came out last year, Quentin Tarantino's latest, Django Unchained. One of my favourite Quentin films. Some people think it's his weakest. That's fair enough, obviously, but I really do like this film quite a bit. I think it's fantastic. It's brilliant. I love the way it looks. I love the acting. I love the story. I think it's really, really great Quentin film. Next up is Batman Begins. Of course, Christopher Nolan's first entry into his Batman trilogy, his ultimate Batman trilogy, as I like to call it. It surprised so many people in 2005 when it came out. Batman was left on a bit of a down after Batman and Robin. But Batman Begins really took up the marker again, and fantastic, really entry, great origin story of Batman. Really, really fantastic film. My least favourite out of the trilogy, but by no means bad or anything. I still do love it. Next up is The Shawshank Redemption. You can't really go wrong with this film. Fantastic film. One of the best ever made, obviously, Just such a great story with this one. Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins. Such a good story. The ending is just fantastic. Great story, script, everything in this film, guys. If you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, which I'd be really surprised at, it's my favourite jail film. Really recommend it. Next up is an Arnie classic, one of my favourite Arnie films. A bit of a guilty pleasure, I suppose. Commando. If you don't like this film, you obviously don't appreciate action. It's such a good film. I love it. Brilliant. Arnie at his best. 80s classic, as I like to call it. Just Commando, simple action. You can't go wrong. The Silence of the Lambs, also one of my favourite films. A fantastic psychological thriller. Anthony Hopkins gives one of the best performances ever put to screen. Oscar winning. Brilliant. I love this film. Very, very clever story. Very, very well done. Next up is the only anime I own, and that's a bit strange really, because I'm a massive fan of anime, so I should probably own more animes, but this is my only Blu-ray anime, and it's Ninja Scroll. Obviously not one of the best anime films, but still a very good anime. I got this really cheap, so I thought I may as well get it. Blu-ray looks fantastic, which has encouraged me to get the Akira Blu-ray. So I do hope I bulk up on my animes, because I'm a massive fan, and this is a good film. Really great story, great voice acting. Yeah, I really recommend that one. Next one is a kind of underrated film in my opinion. I don't think it's underrated, but I don't think it's as well known as it should be. No Country for Old Men is in fact one of my all-time favourite films. This is my favourite Coen brother film. You know, not a popular choice. Most people say, you know, The Big Lebowski, but this is my favourite Coen Brother film, one of my all-time favourites. I absolutely love this film. I think the performances are absolutely top draw. The way this film's directed, I think it's one of the best directed films ever made. Absolutely fantastic. And Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh, absolutely fantastic. I mean, I have not seen a more disturbing character in a thriller before. I really recommend this film. It's one of my all-time favourites. And I got this is a DVD steelbook, but I keep the Blu-ray inside of the DVD. I took the DVD out and put it in my Blu-ray case. But this is a really, really great film. One of my all-time favourites, as I said. Now we've got on to all the steelbooks. Now we're moving on to my digibooks. We have Jaws. You know what? You can't really go wrong with Jaws. You can't go wrong with Jaws. Probably easily on my top 7, top 10. But you know, brilliant. It didn't quite reach my top 5. I did a video. It was either Jaws or Schindler's List, and I had to go with Schindler's List. But Jaws, still, you know, one of my all-time favourite films. Just it never gets old, you know. And the Blu-ray quality is pristine on this one. One of the best Blu-ray transfers. It's fantastic all the way. I really recommend it. And I've just forgotten my Star Wars steelbook, and I've just forgotten it because I've only just got this. My Star Wars steelbook, obviously. You know, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. You know, these are great films. I've got the Star Wars New Hope poster there, but because it is my favourite out of the 3. You know, not a popular opinion. You know, normally people say The Empire Strikes Back, but A New Hope is actually my favourite out of the Star Wars films, followed by Empire Strikes Back. But still, you know, these are 3 great films, and yeah, it's good to own them on Blu-ray. My next digibook is yeah, that's my Dark Knight Rises other steelbook that I had. This one is Schindler's List, one of my 5th favourite film of all time. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, this is such a depressing film, but you know, harrowing, but so meaningful, and it teaches you a lot about what happened during the Holocaust. You know, not my favourite Steven Spielberg film, but my second favourite Steven Spielberg film. You know, one of his best directed films, one of the best directed films ever made. Beautiful cinematography, great acting, great performances. You know, this is one of my favourite films of all time. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm really glad to own it on Blu-ray as well. It's only just been released on Blu-ray. Game of Thrones Season 2, I got that on Blu-ray. Don't own Season 1 yet. I should do, but I'll probably get Season 1 when I get Season 3. But, you know, great. I love Game of Thrones. It's my favourite TV series on air at the moment. So yeah, you know, nice slipcase, nice. It's a nice really nice addition actually. Next we got my Lord of the Rings extended edition Blu-ray box set. You know, one of my 3 of my all-time favourite films. My favourite is Return of the King, but I think they all work as one, so I can't. Oh, where's the light gone? Oh, I bet. Oh, there it is. Oh, it went all dark. Yeah, so it's a really nice box set. Contains all 3 films in their extended editions. So yeah, I'm really pleased to own this box set. Fantastic films. As I said, they all work as one. So I don't really like to pick my favourite, but if I was to pick my favourite, it would be Return of the King. Next up is the Indiana Jones Complete Adventures on Blu-ray. This is a must-own for me. I love Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my all-time favourite films, and I also, you know, love Temple of Doom, and that's them all there. I do like the films. They are good films. So yeah, they're really good films. Also forgot my last steelbook is the Taxi Driver steelbook, a very recent purchase of mine. Taxi Driver again is one of my all-time favourite films, and this is a really nice steelbook to go with it. I really recommend picking this one up. It's a really great buy. Really great picture quality as well on that one. Fargo is another one of my favourite films of all time. The Coen brothers, they did a fantastic job with this one. Fantastic. One of my favourite female performances, actually, by Frances McDormand in this film. Fantastic film. Really, really good. It's a dark comedy, in my opinion. You know, I do lots of elements of this film I do find quite funny, which is either good or bad, I don't know, but really recommend this one. Next up is Fight Club. Again, one of my all-time favourite films. I know I keep saying that, but I do like to buy my favourite films. I love Fight Club. It's such an intelligent, gritty film. I do appreciate this film. Lots of people don't get it, but I must admit, it did take me a couple of times to watch it, a couple of times to fully appreciate it and get it. But once I did get it, I loved it. Yeah, embarrassingly, I even had to look on a forum on Wiki Answers to find out the whole Tyler Durden thing. But I finally did get it. Next up is a recent Spielberg's latest film, actually, Lincoln. I really did appreciate this film. I loved this film. I loved it. I really did appreciate this film for its historical element to it. I'm really into history, so I really did appreciate this film. Daniel Day-Lewis's performance as Lincoln was phenomenal. Sally Field was great. Tommy Lee Jones was brilliant as well. Fantastically directed and beautifully shot. I really recommend this one. No action in it, but I think that the talking drives this film. Next up is The Matrix. You can't really go wrong with The Matrix. When it first came out in '99, nobody had seen something like this, and it, straight after The Matrix, people were already imitating it, mocking it, everything, because it was such an influential film, and nothing's really been done like it after it. So it's one of my all-time favourite films. Again, love Matrix. I don't like the sequels. Only the Matrix one. Take this all off now. Next up we have Inception. Again, one of my all-time favourite films. I love this film. It's one of my favourite Christopher Nolan films. I just love everything about it. It's so good. Very, very intelligent. I don't know how he made it. I really don't. You could ask me and I wouldn't have a clue how he made it. So yeah, great stuff. Inception. Next up we have Heat, which is again one of my all-time favourite films. Heat is my favourite Michael Mann film. A very, very, very good film. I think its only problem, though, I do have one problem with it. I think it's slightly overlong. You're looking at the same sort of length as The Godfather, and it is a long film. I'm the first one to admit that, but it's a fantastic film. Those two performances, fantastic. I really do love this film. A Clockwork Orange was a bit of a mistake, really. I bought this film not long ago because I'd heard I'm a big Stanley Kubrick fan, and I watched it and I didn't really like it. It's a bit violent for me. I mean, I can watch violent films, but for me, I think it was a bit too much, and I'm not normally, I've watched, quite a few horror films and stuff, but this one, it didn't disturb me, but I didn't really appreciate the humour, the violent aspects of the film like some people do. Just not one of my favourite of his, but yeah, it's still a good film, really good story and everything, but the violent aspects of the film, I didn't like, really. I know a couple of other people don't like it as well, but there you go. Blade Runner, one of my all-time favourite films. Ridley Scott, Harrison Ford, fantastic. I just love this film. It's got such a good look to it. Very, very original. Yeah, brilliant. You don't really need to know much about Blade Runner. So that's my first row done, and we've got two steelbooks here that I didn't have any room to put. First one I'm going to get a lot of hate for, and that is Batman and Robin. A very bad film. very bad film. I'm the first one to admit it. It is a bad film, but I do like it. I still like it, you know. It's a guilty pleasure, you know. The Hobbit, very recent film, and of course the prequel to Lord of the Rings. I really enjoyed this film. Actually, I thought it had a really good story to it. Great acting, and Peter Jackson, he does a great job with those type of films. Next up is Kick-Ass. I love this film. I haven't seen Kick-Ass 2 yet. I must see that film, but Kick-Ass 1, I loved it. Brilliant film. I love Kick-Ass. It's got such an original look, feel to it. I really do like Kick-Ass quite a bit. The Karate Kid I haven't seen, actually. I got this with my PS3 when I bought it. I've never really got round to seeing it, so I can't actually comment on that. Now these are very special films to me, actually. These are all the Tintins, the original cartoon series, Adventures of Tintin. I'm a massive Tintin fan, and watching these on Blu-ray was it was really special. Really, it did remind me of my childhood when I used to watch these on TV. And yeah, I really appreciated these films. Next up, we have Memento, Christopher Nolan's first film, or Insomnia. One of the two was his first film. I think this was his first film. Fantastic film. Took me a couple of tries to really appreciate it and get into it, but once I did, I really enjoyed it. It's a really good film, Memento. And last but not least on that row, The Adventures of Tintin, the Steven Spielberg adaptation, revision, whatever you want to call it. This has got some of the best animation I've ever seen for a film. It looks fantastic. Great voice acting by Jamie Bell and Andy Serkis. Really great film. I love this film. So that's my first bit down. There we go. Then next up we have, on this row, we have Avengers Assemble, the 3D version. I love this film. It's one of the best comic book films ever made. I loved it. Loved every second of it. You know, how can you not have Avengers in your Blu-ray collection? So that's that. And then we have Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton re-envision, if you like, with Johnny Depp and guess what, Helen Bonham Carter. Those two always in Tim Burton's films. I'm kind of getting a bit fed up with Tim Burton, really. I mean, I'm kind of going off his kind of gothic thing. It gets a bit annoying after a while. But this isn't gothic. This is actually a really good film. I really enjoyed this film, and yeah, it was a really good adaptation. Oh. Batman Begins, I've already talked about that in the Steelbook. Batman, the Tim Burton film. I really enjoyed this film, actually. This was actually my favourite Batman film until the Nolan ones came out. I really enjoyed this film. Jack Nicholson did a really great performance in it. Michael Keaton's a really good Batman, in my opinion. I much prefer his voice to the Dark Knight Batman, but apart from that, I really like Michael Keaton as Batman. I think he's a good actor as well. Underrated actor, and Kim Basinger's in this one as well. I think it's a really good Batman film, actually. I enjoyed this one. It's quite dark as well, actually, if you think about it. It has some dark moments in it. Yeah, it's a good film. And next up we have the Bourne films. Bourne Supremacy, Ultimatum, the Bourne trilogy, and then if you're not including the Bourne Legacy, that new one with Jeremy Renner, or whatever his name is. That's my favourite one, the Bourne Ultimatum, and followed by Identity, and then Supremacy is my least favourite. But I love them all, actually. They're really good action films. Actually, some of my favourite action films. I really do like them. Matt Damon's great in them, and I think they're all directed by Paul Greengrass, the master of shaky cam. And this is one I got as a present, actually. I haven't yet seen it. Bruce Willis, of course, and Damon Wayans. I haven't seen this one yet, so I can't really comment on it, but I am kind of looking forward to seeing it. I do like Bruce Willis. I think this is a Tony Scott film as well. So yeah, skip those. Braveheart. Now this was a film that I think must have surprised people in '95 when it came out. You know, guy from Lethal Weapon and stuff like that before he'd done any of this, Mad Max. You know, comes out and makes a film, directs a film, and then he wins Best Picture and Best Director for it, and then he wins all these other awards for it, 5 Academy Awards for this film. You know, that's very rare. That doesn't happen a lot, and I think that was a really, really good thing for Mel Gibson, because I think he's a really, really good actor and director. I really do like him. I know his personal life isn't great, but apart from that, I really do appreciate Mel Gibson. I think he's a really good actor and director. So yeah, Braveheart, I thought it was a really good film, one of my favourite action films. And I went to Scotland very recently. That's why I've been offline for a while. And I went to Stirling, and that's where the Battle of Stirling, this is where it takes place, the Battle of Stirling. And I went to the William Wallace Memorial there. So yeah, really, really good film. Great battle scenes in it. Now for my, that's my Mad Max. That's my Man of Steel soundtrack thing. I'm not going to show you that. Now for my favourite Bond film, Casino Royale. I need to sell this actually because I have the, you can't see it, but my Bond collection. I have to sell this because I already have it. But this is my favourite Bond film. Fantastic, you know, it's brilliant. Martin Campbell, fantastically directed by Martin Campbell. I think he brought a real gritty new look to Bond, kind of like the Batman Begins for 007. I love this film. It's my favourite Bond film. I love, you know, the what's the name? The poker scenes are riveting, and it's got a really, really one of my actually my favourite Bond villain in it as well. Le Chiffre, played by Mads. Yeah, I'll never be able to pronounce his name, but you know what I'm talking about. The guy that played Hannibal Lecter in that new series. Yeah, I really recommend Casino Royale if you haven't seen it. Commando, again, that's another double dip. You've heard me already talk about that. The Die Hard films. Die Hard 1. Die Hard 2. Die Hard 3. Die Hard 4. You know, you can't really go wrong with these films. They're good action films. Die Hard 1 is my favourite, followed by Die Hard 2, followed by Die Hard 3. It's actually in order for me. A lot of people think Die Hard 3 is better than Die Hard 2, and that's fair enough, but I prefer Die Hard 2 for some reason, because I'm into planes and stuff. But yeah, the Die Hard films, you can't really go wrong with them. They're great action films. Number 1 was more than an action film, but the rest of them, they were just really good action films. What put Bruce Willis on the map. Gladiator, a really, really good film by Ridley Scott. Great action set pieces in this one. Russell Crowe's fantastic in it. I really do like this film. This is the type of film you need to see on the big screen. Next up, Shaun of the Dead. My favourite out of the Cornetto trilogy. I love this film. It makes me laugh every time I see it. The first half more than the last half, but I still like the last half. Last half of the film. It's a really good film. I love it. King Kong, my favourite King Kong film. Lots of people think the original, fair enough, you know. But I like the Peter Jackson. I just love the way he shoots his films. This is a really, really good film. I love it. Falling Down was one of my favourite films. Was one of my favourite films actually for quite a while. Still is really actually. But I've seen a lot more films now, and but Falling Down, I love this film. I think Michael Douglas brings one of his best performances actually. Just such a great story to it. Really kind of makes you think about you know, people and stress, and yeah, it's just a really good film. I love it. Brilliant. Directed by Joel Schumacher as well. Firefly, of course, is a TV series. But you all know Firefly, Joss Whedon's series. One of my all-time favourite TV series as well. I love this film series, and yeah, great picture quality on that one. going to move up here now. The Girl on the Dragon Tattoo, the Steelbook, I got this very recently from a car boot sale for £3. The Blu-ray Steelbook, you can't really go wrong for £3. Haven't seen this film yet, so I can't comment on it again, but you know, I'm hoping it's good because I'm a massive David Fincher fan. Titanic, the 3D and 2D version, in this horrible case. It's a nightmare to shut. But yeah, still, you know, fantastic film. You know, brilliant. I love this film. You know, it's such a long film, but I just love it. It's brilliant. I love James Cameron's films. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, looking good, brilliant. I love this film. Great. And the Blu-ray is really good as well. I'm not so much a fan of the 3D, but the actual 2D Blu-ray is fantastic on it. Drive, one of my all-time favourite films, actually. One of the best directed films, in my opinion. Fantastic film. A lot of people don't appreciate it. I think this film wasn't marketed very well. You know, the trailer was all, you know, racing cars and stuff, but you know, there's not many car chases in this film, because that's not what drives the film along. What drives the film along is the whole story of it, story behind it, and it's brilliant. It's fantastically directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. Really great film. One of my all-time favourites, actually. True Grit, another Coen brother film. I love this film. I actually prefer it to the original, which is very rare. True Grit, fantastic film. I love Jeff Bridges in this film, and I can't remember her name, but she brings one of my favourite child performances to a film. She's brilliant in this film. I love it. The Dark Knight, obviously you've heard me talk about it. I don't need to talk about that. I'll put it there. Now, Aliens and Alien and Aliens are the only two films in the Alien franchise that I like, but I do own the other two because it came in a box set. I think the box set was $9.99 or something, so obviously I couldn't help but buy it. You know, that's not a lot of money, so I wasn't going to buy them separately, even though I would have done if that box set hadn't existed, because these are the only two I actually like. But I like them the same, even though if I really had to choose, I'd choose this one, Aliens, over Alien. But I still love these ones just as much as each other, really. They're really great films. So yeah, I do own Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, even though I don't like them. But you know, as I said, it came with the box set. Apocalypse Now, fantastic film, my favourite war film, actually. I love it. It's fantastically directed and got a fantastic cast, if you can see. They're one of the best casts. It's brilliant, you know. It's great. I love it. Great helicopter scenes as well. I think, where did we get up to? I think we got up to here. Full Metal Jacket, another really great Vietnam film. That's funny how we left off from there. But yeah, really great Vietnam film. Stanley Kubrick's brilliant directed. Lee Army, great performance in this film. Oscar worthy, actually. I love his performance in this film. And the first half of this film is riveting. I absolutely love the first half of this film. It's brilliant. And the second half's just as good as well. I just love the first half. Yeah, it's brilliant. I'll put it back now. Goodfellas, again, I've talked about Casino. I like them just as much as each other. Goodfellas is, you know, fantastic film. Probably my favourite mob movie apart from Godfather. Yeah, I love this film. It's perfect mob movie in my opinion. Just a brilliant Martin Scorsese film. Fantastic all round. Obviously I've talked about Taxi Drivers, so I don't need to talk about that. But I can talk about this film. Now, this was actually a bit of a disappointment for me. I couldn't really get into this film as much as I wanted to. Didn't really do it for me. I'm sorry. It was a blind buy, but it didn't do it for me. Finding Nemo, you know, you can't really go wrong with that film. Great Pixar film. Brilliant animation, and it looks stunning on Blu-ray. Really glad I picked it up. Now, The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2, I don't like equally. I do prefer this one, even though I do really like this one as well. But Godfather is the ultimate mob movie for me. I just love this film. You can't really go wrong with it. It's perfect, perfect film. And Godfather Part 2 is a really good film, one of my all-time favourites again. But I don't think it's perfect. I think it's too long. But still a really, really good mob movie. Just fantastic. I love the way it carries on from The Godfather Part 1. And I like the way it also shows the whole upbringing of Vito. It's brilliant. The Green Mile, a really good prison film. Actually, probably my second favourite prison film after Shawshank. Same director. Tom Hanks is brilliant in this film. And especially Michael Clarke Duncan there. He's fantastic in this film. Oscar nominated. I think he should have won it. He's brilliant in this film. I love this film. It's got such a good look to it, and very, very emotional at the end. The Hangover to me is the only one worth owning. The second one is just a repeat, basically, just a clone, and the third one is crap. But this one is the only one worth owning in my opinion. It's fantastic. It's a great, great comedy. I love it. It's brilliant. I love this film. It's great, great story and comedy at the same time. I like the concept of it. Now, again, one of my favourite war movies, Saving Private Ryan. You know, this is such a good tribute to men of war. Very, very harrowing film. Probably just as harrowing as Schindler's List, actually. But very, very good film. The opening sequence is just... You can hardly look at it almost. It's very harrowing, but Steven Spielberg knows how to direct films and make them feel real. So, you know, you've got to give him that. This is my only Arrow release for Arrow release fans. They might be a little bit disappointed, but Zombie Flesh Eaters, I should get more Arrow releases because they do such good jobs on their Blu-rays. You know, they're brilliant. They really are. Just fantastic. I love these. I love these films. They're good. They're just cult classics, aren't they? I suppose of the 70s. Bad acting and everything, but what I did love about this film was that they didn't CGI this film, and I don't think CGI was, you know, even available in a good way. But what they did with this film was they used so much practical effects and props, and the zombies really did look good on Blu-ray. I must admit. Now moving on to the last row. And we're going to start with Iron Man, the only one worth owning in my opinion. The second one I didn't like it, and I didn't like the third one much either, so I think for me this is the only one worth owning. It's a brilliant film. Very surprised, you know, when it came out, because, you know, directed by an actor, and stars someone who hadn't really done much before, Robert Downey Jr. That got him back on his feet, and, you know, he's a fantastic Tony Stark. He is Tony Stark. When I look at Robert Downey Jr., I think, oh, I'm looking at Tony Stark, you know, that he's made that his character. Next up is The Raid. You know, this is one of my favourite action movies, actually. Fantastically done, you know, the choreographed scenes of it, it looks amazing, it really does. Fantastic, you know, story's a bit weak and the script's very weak, but the actual action kind of that's what drags the movie along, and it really works. It's fantastic. Next up is 3 3D films. I'm going to show them all at the same time. We have Piranha 3D, Dread 3D, and Shark Night 3D. Piranha 3D I really did enjoy, a really good film. Piranha 3D is crap, really bad, really disappointing, but this one I really do enjoy. Dread 3D was good, I really did enjoy this film, came out last year, really good look to it, and Carl Urban was a much bigger improvement over Sylvester Stallone's Dread. And Shark Night 3D I enjoyed as well, actually. This is considered a very weak film. It's not great, no, but it's enjoyable, and, you know, I enjoyed this film in 3D. The Terminator, you know, I don't own T2 yet, I should do, but this is the only Terminator film I own. I love this film, it's such a good entry into, you know, one of the best trilogies. Apart from the third one, you know, you can't really call it a trilogy because the third one's not very good, but these Terminator and Terminator 2 are really great films, and I love them both. James Cameron, he knows how to make Terminator films, and Arnie's great. And as I said, I do own Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, even though I've said I don't like them, but, you know, I do have to put up with them, I suppose, because it came in the box set, unless I do sell them at some point, which I will try and do. Now, let me just quickly put these back. There we go. So yeah, last row, we have Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. Really great films. I do like this one more, but I really do like this one as well. It is weaker, but this one still is really good. They are good films. You know, it's Quentin Tarantino. You can't really go wrong. He's got such a unique form of direction, and yeah, really great films. I love them. They're great. Great action. Life of Pi 3D. I thought this was a magnificent film that came out last year. It's such a good film, you know. It looks beautiful for a start, and you know the way it's done is just, it's done so well. You know, I can't recommend this one enough. It looks beautiful as well on Blu-ray, and I think the lead cast played Pi. He did such a wonderful job, and Ang Lee's direction is fantastic as well. I'm so glad he won Best Director. He really did deserve it. Really, a lot of dedication went into this film. The King's Speech came out in 2010. I love this film. I think this was a really good film. I think very well done. Very, very well acted by Colin Firth. I never really liked him, but he did a really good job, and he actually made me like him, which was quite surprising. He did a really good job in this film. I also like Jeffrey Rush in this film as well. Brilliant film. Next up, my favourite action movies actually, you know, including Die Hard. Lethal Weapon, I love these films, especially 1 and 2. 3 and 4 go a little bit light-hearted and comedic in a way, but I still really enjoy them, and I can watch them just as much as I can watch the first 2, even though the first 2 are better films. But I love all 4 of these films. I can watch them any day of the week. They're brilliant. And as I said, I do own No Country for Old Men, but this is the DVD copy, this one, and so I'll put the Blu-ray in my steelbook. But yeah, I've told you that's one of my all-time favourite films. Put it back. Payback. Now, there's 2 ways you can watch this. You can watch the theatrical version or the director's cut, but I really do recommend the director's cut of this one. It's far superior to the theatrical version. It's like a whole new movie almost. It's much better. I really recommend the director's cut over the theatrical edition. Mel Gibson gives a really great performance in Payback. Now, my second favourite David Fincher film is Seven. I love this film to death almost. You know, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, great detectives, and this is actually the film that made me want to watch play LA Noire, because the detective thing. But yeah, really great film. Kevin Spacey's John Doe is fantastic, even though he's not in it for long, but really great film. Really dark and gritty, like Fight Club, even though it's shot completely differently. Next up is Reservoir Dogs, a very disappointing Blu-ray release. Doesn't look great on Blu-ray, but the actual film itself is really good, so I really recommend you know, watching the film, but the Blu-ray is not great. Next up is one of my favourite Disney films, and that is Up. It's a magical film. It really is. It's just phenomenal. You really got to watch Up and appreciate it. It's a beautiful film. Great animation as well. Now, this could be my favourite Martin Scorsese film. It could be my favourite. The Departed. It's got such a good script, and the acting is fantastic. I love this way. Such a clever movie. I just really did like this film quite a bit. Really did like it. Probably my favourite Martin Scorsese film. Just maybe. I don't know, but it could be. And yeah, brilliant film. I love it. Gotta watch The Departed. And next up is a comedy that came out last year. Ted makes a Family Guy, a massive Family Guy fan, so when this came out I was really looking forward to it. Watched it and it was brilliant. I love Ted. Brilliant film. Gotta watch Ted at some point. Although it hasn't got humour that's built for everyone, but it has got, humour for some people that some people might enjoy. A lot of it is fart humour, but it's actually got quite a good story to it as well, and I really did like that element of it. E.T., you've got to watch this at least one time in your life. It's a great film. John Williams' score, his direction, Steven Spielberg. It's a really good family film. Really recommend E.T. Looking forward to my Star Trek Into Darkness still that's coming out from the entertainment store. But while I'm waiting for that, I can still enjoy Star Trek, the first film in the J.J. Abrams re-envision of Star Trek, I suppose. I love this film. I do like it more than I do like Into Darkness, but Into Darkness is very good as well. I love Star Trek. It's a brilliant film. Gave a really good new vibe to Star Trek. It wasn't known as quite... before that it was kind of known as like cult films, but now they're known as really good films. Really good action films, and J.J. Abrams brought really good visual look to it as well. Next up is a kind of underrated Clint Eastwood film. I got this really cheap at a car boot sale, 50p or something. The Rookie, and I do enjoy it actually. It's not a good film, but I do enjoy it still. Clint Eastwood, Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen's one of his earlier roles. It's a really good film. I do enjoy it quite a bit. He did this after he did the Deadpool, the last Dirty Harry film. And, it's not the best film in the world, but it's not a bad film either. You can still enjoy it. Next up we have... Sweeney Todd. A really great film. I really did like this film actually, even though this is like one of his most gothic films, Tim Burton. I still really did like this film. Very, very dark and really quite, very, very like horror-like and, brilliant. I really like this film a lot. Really good performance by Johnny Depp. Brilliant. This Is It by Michael Jackson. I watched this when it came out in 2009. I enjoyed this film. I really did. I was a Michael Jackson fan, and I like this film. It's a good film. It's a good documentary about him. The Thing, the John Carpenter's Thing. Great film. Really good horror film. Great story. Kurt Russell's really good in it. John Carpenter's one of his best films. My favourite is Halloween, but I did like this one as well. A very underrated Quentin film, Jackie Brown, but actually one of my favourite. I was just looking at that, caught my eye. Quentin's finest. No, it's not his finest, but it's still a really good film. I did enjoy this film quite a bit. I enjoy it quite a bit. I love this film. It's got a really good cast, and Quentin's really good in it. It's a really good film. It's brilliant. Talking about Dirty Harry a bit earlier, I've got all the Dirty Harry films on Blu-ray. I like these all these films. They're all good films. Of course, Dirty Harry's the best one, but I still like all of them. They're all good films, really. They've all got a good kind of vibe to them, and they're good cop films, really. I can enjoy them any day of the week. Next up, we have one of my favourite Coen Brother films. My last and only Coen Brother film. I've got No Country for Old Men and Fargo, but this is my last one. Big Lebowski, very, very funny film actually. Very different to their other films, so that's why I was kind of surprised about it. But yeah, it's brilliant. Jeff Bridges and John Goodman really work well together. And last but not least, we have the Toy Story trilogy. All three of them, all great family films. My favourite being, I don't know actually, probably the third one, but the first and the second one I kind of like equal. I like them all really. I like them all equally really. They're all, they're my favourite Pixar films easily. They're the Pixar classics, aren't they? you know, they're great. I love them. You gotta love Toy Story. Last but not least, a Mel Gibson Vietnam film. We Were Soldiers. This is a good film. This is quite an enjoyable film. I did enjoy this one quite a bit, actually. It's a good film. So yeah, that's my Blu-ray collection overview. Of course, in the 5 months' time, this is going to be out of date. In a month's time, it's going to be out of date. But it was a really requested video, and I thought I'd get it off my back because I've been doing it for thinking about this for quite a long time, and I've finally done it. 50 minutes. I'm going to stop it there, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll catch you later.